A slight drop in the number of newly reported COVID-19 cases in the city, but 2 more patients die. Face-to-face learning in the new school year to be suspended until further notice. And the Trump administration gives the TikTok owner 45 days to negotiate the sale of its U.S. arm.
Good evening and welcome. The spread of the coronavirus in Hong Kong may be showing signs of a slowdown. 80 new cases were reported today, snapping a 12-day streak of a triple-digit case surge. Still, the government is extending various virus control measures, including a 2-people gathering limit, by a week to August the 11th.
Authorities also admitted to a pair of misdiagnoses yesterday, and as Kana Chu reports, COVID-19 has claimed the lives of 2 more elderly patients, bringing the local death count to 37.
After 12 days of 100-plus case jumps, today's number of new infections is back to the 2-digit level.
I think it is still too early to conclude, according to one day's number, that the trend is decreasing or not.
And hospital capacity issues have remained one of the most pressing concerns.
Today, we are having about 150 patients on the list. We are trying our best to send the patient to the AWE. We have just a few patients, over 60, are waiting for going to the hospital.
Among the latest carriers of the novel coronavirus are a taxi driver and 5 more employees of direct marketing firm Star Global. The virus also lingered within nursing institutions. In Taiwan, 1 more resident of the Salvation Army Longhang residence for senior citizens tested positive for the virus. In Shamshui-Po, another case emerged from Silsin Nursing Center as well. That's on top of 2 more positive cases and 1 preliminary positive arising from a Changshawan elderly care home. Also newly diagnosed is an amenities assistant of the Leisure and Cultural Services Department. He was last seen at his workplace on Thursday at the Shenhua Municipal Services Building. The office concerned is off limits to the public. Meanwhile, operations of the Immigration Department's West Kowloon branch office will be indefinitely stalled following the positive diagnosis of an agency worker. Those with urgent needs are advised to approach the department's Wan Chai or Yulong office to resolve matters relating to their travel documents. While the Kowloon City Magistrates Courts have reported a 2nd security personnel infected with COVID-19, hearings will proceed as scheduled. This with an exception to fresh remand cases, which will be diverted to the West Kowloon Magistrates Courts until further notice. Kana Chu, TVB News.
Well, the upcoming school year may begin as scheduled, but all face-to-face learning will be suspended until further notice. The Secretary for Education, Kevin Young, announced that institutions can start their year August 17th at the earliest. That includes kindergartens, international, primary and secondary schools, as well as special needs centers. No face-to-face or on-campus classes will be held due to the severity of the epidemic. The same applies for private tutoring and learning centers. The Education Bureau is encouraging younger students to utilize worksheets during their distance learning arrangements. The government will also consider further relief measures for kindergartens after some expressed difficulties in operating.
Because of some of the uncertainty of the development of the COVID-19 epidemic, it's really difficult to say at this stage when the normal face-to-face lecture or tutoring or teaching will be allowed. We are still discussing with the primary schools on the arrangement for the primary 6 examination. As you know, we have deferred the P5 submission of the P5 exam results to middle of September and then further extend to October. At this stage, it's still too early to say what will happen. We still hope that we could have the normal class resume as soon as possible, but we are making contingency plan.
Well, according to sources, Deputy Director of the State Council's Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office, Zheng Xiaoming, is in town to discuss matters related to the Legislative Council polls delay. Zheng was said to be at the central government's liaison office this morning. Executive Councillor Joseph Yam, as well as lawmakers Paul Tse, Chan King-por and Ma Feng-kwok were seen entering the office's building in Shengwan this morning. According to sources, topics discussed included whether incumbent lawmakers barred from the elections originally scheduled for September should be allowed to serve in LegCo in the upcoming year.
Chinese health authorities say 43 new COVID-19 cases were reported on the mainland Sunday, with 36 being domestically transmitted. 28 locally transmitted cases were reported in Xinjiang and 8 in Liaoning province. The authorities believe a seafood processing plant in the city of Dalian is the likely source of the current outbreak in Liaoning. The processing plant has seen 60 people infected in total. Australia's coronavirus hotspot, Victoria State, has announced more harsh measures to curb the spread of the virus. Starting Wednesday, non-essential businesses will close in the state capital, Melbourne. The shutdown could cost 250,000 jobs. That's on top of the 250,000 already lost. The orders are part of a 6-week lockdown for Australia's second largest city. This follows Sunday's declaration of a state of disaster in Victoria and implementation of a nightly curfew in Melbourne. The state's top health official said without the measures, the infection rate would continue at 400 or 500 new COVID-19 cases a day. Victoria reported 429 new cases Monday, down from 671 a day earlier, but it had 13 more deaths, the state's second highest daily total during the pandemic. TikTok is on the clock. After facing threats of being banned from the U.S., its parent company has apparently been given 45 days to secure a deal with Microsoft.
That's not the only move the Chinese firm is undertaking as it looks to shift its headquarters from Beijing to London. Peter Coveos has details.
Last week, U.S. President Donald Trump threatened to ban the Chinese video platform TikTok. Now, apparently Trump has given his blessing to the app's owner, ByteDance, to reach a deal with Microsoft. That follows a discussion between Trump and Microsoft CEO. The U.S. firm has been in talks to acquire the Chinese app's operations in America and expects to reach a deal by the middle of next month. U.S. officials are wary of TikTok's Chinese parent company. They claim ByteDance poses a national risk because of the personal data it handles, claiming it can be used as a tool for intelligence by Beijing. ByteDance has repeatedly denied that claim. The debate over TikTok parallels a broader U.S. security crackdown on Chinese companies, including telecom providers Huawei and ZTE. The Trump administration has ordered U.S. federal agencies to stop buying equipment from those providers to be used in U.S. networks. China has said it opposes any U.S. sanctions against Chinese software firms. TikTok owner ByteDance is also getting a thumbs down from other media platforms. Last year, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg accused the Chinese app of censoring political protest. TikTok has denied the claim. In response, the Chinese firm accused Facebook of plagiarism and smears, but did not elaborate on the accusation. The Beijing-based company made the comments in a statement on a news aggregator app it owns. And the Chinese capital may not be home for ByteDance much longer. The tech firm is apparently moving its headquarters to London from Beijing. That's according to The Sun newspaper, which reported the deal was approved by British ministers. Peter Coveos, TVB News.
Still ahead on tonight's news, a program tailor-made for smokers who want to kick the habit amid the pandemic. And a breakthrough in the joint development of a COVID-19 vaccine by PolyU and a university in Macau.
A hospital group has launched a program tailor-made for smokers who want to kick the habit during the coronavirus pandemic. Some smokers say they feel at risk of catching the virus when taking off their masks to light up. Dong Yao-nie has more.
The Tenghua Group of Hospitals has rolled out services to help smokers kick the habit at home, from video lectures to online counseling. The project, funded by the Department of Health, also offers a mail to quit service with treatment tools delivered by post without charge. More than 400 people have joined the scheme since it was launched in February, and more than 60% of them have stopped smoking.
個戒煙成功率可以增加50%去到1倍咁多。
Dr. Senneth Wu said nicotine patches, pills, and gum can boost the cessation rate by more than half. And combined with counseling services, it has proved to be the most effective method. The coronavirus outbreak has also sparked new interest in quitting, as more people worry about the risk of catching the virus when they take off their masks to smoke. The project's director said the number of people interested in the program now has spiked to more than 100 per day. The center will also send out mobile trucks to local communities, but they will only hand out booklets due to virus control reasons. Dong Yao-nie, TVB News.
A joint project between the Hong Kong Polytechnic University and the Macau University of Science and Technology say they've achieved a breakthrough in the development of a COVID-19 vaccine. The project found a fraction of a spike protein is effective in creating a protective immune response to the coronavirus. So far, the vaccine, made with a piece of protein known as RBD, prevents replication of the virus with no unwanted side effects in monkeys, rodents, and rabbits. The universities hope clinical trials on humans can begin within months, if not weeks. And that's the news. Thanks for watching.
Good night.